Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock with news of an eye-popping corporate cash stash. But first in the US, house resales fell 1.8% in June, which was more than expected, as a dearth of properties amid strong demand pushed prices to a record high. The new median price is now $263,800, which is up 6.5% in a year, and that kept first home buyers out of many markets. The US manufacturing PMI rose in July to a 4-month high, while their services PMI held at a relatively high level as well. Together, these represent the best levels in 6 months. Across the Atlantic, their July PMI has lost a little momentum, but in fact they are at stronger expansion levels than the US's still. But in Japan, the loss of momentum was more worrying, with their factory index at an 8-month low. And back in Washington at the IMF, the head of that organisation said this morning that it may be based in Beijing in 10 years. Apparently have a rule that they are based in the capital of their largest member, and if the US stumbles while China's economy keeps growing as it is now, they'll be moving there. But at the same time, they've raised their forecast for economic growth over the next 3 years for the world, even as they've lowered them for the US. In Sweden, there's been a security disaster through the outsourcing of a vehicle licensing system to IBM. And Moody's has shone a light on the tax-avoiding habits of large American multinationals and their duplicitous PR. Yesterday we reported that Apple is disputing its EU-Irish tax liability of €13 billion. Apple's Tim Cook claimed they did not owe income tax there because they did most of their work in the US, which is where they paid most of their tax. Today, however, Moody's is reporting that US companies like Apple now have $1.3 trillion in tax-avoided cash parked overseas. That is up 9.2% in a year and represents 70% of all US corporate cash. The tech giants dominate that list. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield is at 2.25%, and the price of oil rose by about $1 overnight and is now just under $46.50 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is now just over $48 a barrel. The price of gold is also slightly higher, up $3 to $1,254 an ounce, but the Kiwi dollar is a little softer, now at 74.3 US cents, coming off a 14-month high. On the cross rates, we're softer as well at 93.8 Aussie cents and 63.8 Euro cents. As a result, the TWI will start at 77.2 today. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.